next to a dumpster. Um, Detectives through investigative means were able to track down and verify that Powell was our suspect in this case. He was subsequently arrested and charged, and DNA came back to him being at the crime scene, and he's been charged with first-degree murder. I know there's some stuff circulating on social media, so we're here to dispel any rumors or concerns. I'll start off by saying we do not have a serial killer that we're looking at in the city of Fort Lauderdale. As far as we know, Altavius Powell's only committed one homicide, is the one we're referencing right now. But I'll open the floor up to questions, of any questions you may have concerning this incident.
So can you talk about how maybe dangerous it is for people to just throw out there online, you know, that so-and-so may be a serial killer when you guys are really in this, and you want to be careful what is out there?
Absolutely. When you talk about an incident like this, I mean, serial killer is a very strong statement to make. You're talking about putting the lives of not only the residents of the city of Fort Lauderdale. I have family members from other states reaching out, concerned about the safety of, you know, women and children, and people are afraid to walk and go outside their homes. But also, from a standpoint, you got to understand a lot of things that have reached social media are saying that we have a serial killer and putting out people's vehicles and description of a person's vehicle that's not involved in this. And that's a safety issue for that person, that person's family. So it doesn't just stop at the social media point. It grows legs, as we've seen. We've seen it start off with this: we have a serial killer, so now it's developed to 4 or 5 bodies. They started locating or naming locations of possible serial killer. I equate it to like the swatting calls. When someone calls the police and says that something's going on and the SWAT team responds, obviously it's not that in depth of a SWAT response. But you have multi-jurisdictional agencies trying to verify any info or any leads we have. I'll also touch on, it's not tied to the homicide that we had a week prior, the double homicide that then had an incident that occurred in Sarasota. Those two, this homicide we're speaking of and that homicide, are unrelated. There's nothing there that.
Sarge, can you just reiterate that people need to get their information from verified sources before they post on a public platform such as social media?
Absolutely. I would say that, you know, you see a lot of people see something and then they share it, they repost it. You know, I would fact check everything that you post and everything that you share, because we are talking about other people's lives. We're talking about innocent civilians that aren't involved in this incident, that are being accused of having a certain color vehicle or driving a certain way. So, you know, please double check and verify any information you get before you just blatantly post it out into social media.
Are you looking at this suspect, Altavius, for any other crimes, though? Like, are you considering him as a possible suspect for any other crime?
At this time, no. The only crime that we know Altavius Powell committed in our city at this time is a homicide. We have no other information to lead us any other way that he's involved in anything else other than this homicide at this time.
Did he know his victim?
I don't believe so. I mean, as far as know, when we talk about know, do we know them, you know, maybe from a street level, but as far as we've gathered so far, and we're still interviewing family members and things like that, even though we've made an arrest, this is still an open and active investigation, but we haven't verified the length of that knowledge.
Is there anything we're missing that you wanted to add about the case or about this?
No, I think you guys have done a good job. I mean, I spoke to some of you out on the scene. You know, understand that when we have these investigations, I'm not trying to be short with you. The agency's not trying to be short. We're just, you know, we're trying to verify all the facts too, so we don't have an incident like we have with the social media and things and the false information going out.
Have you talked, you said you talked to her family, right?
My detectives have.
Oh, okay. Do you know how they're feeling? I mean, I don't think we've talked about like her too much.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're distraught. They lost a loved one. There's a lot of emotion that goes into it. You know, I think the family's still trying to heal, and then when they see, we've had them reach out to us for things that they've seen on social media, thinking now that, you know, they have other family members that live in the area. Is there a concern for them? You know, and even though we vetted that the suspect is in custody, that hasn't stopped the trail of social media from continuing to grow.
Sarge, talk about the fact that we've had the suspect in custody the very next day.
Yes. So Altavius Powell was arrested on unrelated charges to ours. And it just happened as we were doing our investigation. and verified he was a suspect in our investigation, we saw that he was already locked up in the county jail. So it, you know, for us, it made it an easier process, right? We didn't have to hunt him down. And also for the community's sake, they were, as of the night or the day after the homicide, the community was safe as far as him running the streets and committing any more crime.
What was he actually arrested for the first time?
I believe they got him on firearm by a convicted felon. I think he had a firearm on him when officers approached him, and he fled. So I think it was resisting without violence and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Do you know why he went after her? I mean, the charge is premeditated, so I'm not sure how clear
So
that was.
the premeditation comes from the incident itself. What was done inside the house that I can't disclose at this time. But we don't know the motive right now. We don't know that. I'm sure we'll find the motive, but as of right now, we're still going through cell phone data, text messages, and things like that to verify what the motive was. But right now, we don't know.
Did he dump her there by the dumpster? Because he said in the house. So.
Yeah. So an incident occurred. The incident occurred inside of an apartment, and then he discarded her body on the outside of the dumpster and covered her with cardboard.
Whose apartment was it?
It was a vacant apartment.
I know that her background, I think we had done a story about maybe she had been upset previously, not related to this guy, but someone allegedly stole her drugs. So was this like a drug deal or?
I don't think so. I don't think at this time that we verified that this was a drug deal gone bad or any type of drug purchase. We haven't verified anything into the house as far as the house being, you know, the quote-unquote trap house where it's just a drug supply house. There has been nothing there to verify that this had anything to do with drugs and as far as drugs, a drug deal gone bad. And obviously we don't have toxicology back yet to see if there was any drugs in her system.
And they're asking if the family would be willing to speak with us, or?
I don't know the answer to that. I'll find out, and then I will relay that to our PIO's office, Casey Leaning over here, or Detective Haggerty, and then I will have them reach out if the family's willing to speak.
Thank you, Sarge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That one was easy.
Yeah, moral of story, no serial killer.
I know, I don't know.
Hey, I don't know how it gained legs that fast.
So
Like,
fast.
Social media.
yeah. See, I'm the weirdest millennial you'll ever meet. I don't have social media. I don't know how it works. Like, you know, my kids teach me how to do things. My son's asking for an Uber right now. Like, it's just, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So, my daughter, who's 12, asked me about it, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And
Yeah.
Instagram or
It's
TikTok?
all her daughter?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, her friend saw it and then shared it with another friend, and then it came over.
And it's on Instagram?